That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Famous words spoken by astronaut Neil Armstrong upon man's first steps on the moon, July 20th, 1969. It was during the Apollo 11 spaceflight that Armstrong and fellow astronauts Michael Collins and Buzz Aldrin made this first lunar landing aboard the Apollo lunar module, Eagle. But have you ever wondered what might have inspired Armstrong to become an astronaut in the first place? Well, we might have the answer for you right here in Warren, Ohio, where a half-scale replica of the Apollo lunar module rests, celebrating not only the first lunar landing, but this exact spot is where Armstrong took his very first flight ever in 1936. So join us today as we visit this roadside attraction and share with you its fascinating story, right here on History and Relics. Neil Aldrin Armstrong was born August 5, 1930, on a farm owned by his grandparents near Wapakoneta, Ohio. He was born to proud parents Stephen and Viola Armstrong. Neil's father was an auditor for the state of Ohio, which caused the family to have to move often, and thus Neil grew up in several Ohio communities, including Warren, Champion, Jefferson, Ravenna, St. Mary's, and Upper Sandusky, before settling in Wapakoneta, which is located near the center and in between Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Dayton, Ohio. At the young age of 2, young Neil showed a great amount of interest in flying, especially once his father took him to the national air races in Cleveland in 1932. And who could blame him? After all, some of the greatest racers that ever took to the skies were there, including Jimmy Doolittle, Roscoe Turner, Jimmy Haslip, and Amelia Earhart, who had just become the first woman and the only person since Charles Lindbergh to fly non-stop and alone across the Atlantic. Neil's intrigue for flying turned into a passion in 1936 when he and his father took a ride in a Ford trimotor airplane at the Warren, Ohio airfield. Neil's father fell ill during the flight, likely due to the motion of the plane, but young Neil had the time of his life. Now, the Ford trimotor was nicknamed the Tin Goose and was built by none other than Henry Ford. Production of the aircraft was short-lived, starting in 1925 and ending in 1933, having built only 199 planes. As of 2011, there are 18 Ford trimotors in existence, 8 of which are airworthy, including the City of Wichita, City of Port Clinton, which is currently owned by the Liberty Aviation Museum out of Port Clinton, Ohio. Before Neil learned to drive a car, the Eagle Scout already had his pilot's license. After graduating high school, he attended Purdue University, majoring in aeronautical engineering until about 1949 when he joined the U.S. Navy and became a Navy aviator. He served in Korea, flying some 78 combat missions off of the carrier USS Essex. After his military service in 1952, Neil joined the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, or NACA. His first assignment was at the NACA Lewis Research Center in Cleveland. He remained here for 17 years, working as an engineer, pilot, and administrator for NACA and its successor, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. During his tenure with NASA, he became a test pilot on many pioneering aircrafts, with one such example being the X-15, capable of reaching speeds of more than 4,000 miles an hour. Later, he achieved his MS degree in aerospace engineering at the University of Southern California and transferred to astronaut status in 1962. Armstrong flew his first space mission in March 1966 as commander of Gemini 8 with David Scott. Then came Apollo 11, when Armstrong and fellow astronauts Michael Collins and Buzz Aldrin completed the first moon landing on July 20, 1969. When the lunar space module named Eagle came to a rest, Armstrong said, "The Eagle has landed." He soon stepped out of the module and down onto the moon's surface and said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Buzz Aldrin was the second man to exit the module, and the two walked around the moon for over 2 hours, collecting samples and taking photographs. The men returned to Earth on July 24th, making a splash in the Pacific Ocean, and was picked up by the aircraft carrier USS Hornet. Armstrong later retired from NASA in 1971. Armstrong did not take to space again, but rather turned his attention to teaching others, spending some 8 years at the University of Cincinnati until departing in 1980. From there, he enjoyed many endeavors, but will always be considered an American hero. Armstrong passed away on August 25, 2012, at the age of 82. Warren, Ohio is significant in the trajectory of Neil Armstrong's life and career, and inspired a retired area photographer by the name of Pete Parrish to create a memorial honoring Armstrong. With the help of many friends, family, and supporters, including artist Woody Ishmael, Pete's vision became reality in 2001 with the unveiling of a half-scale replica of the Apollo lunar landing module. It even got a thumbs up by Neil himself when he came to visit. It stands 13 feet tall, 12 feet wide, and weighs nearly 2 tons. And what better place to display this piece that represents man's first steps on the moon than where the pilot took his very first flight in an airplane, the site of the Warren Airways Airfield. The airfield is long since gone and replaced with a plaza and a surrounding residential community, but the essence of the location is quite historical and something to be treasured. Come along with us now as we make a stop here and take our own lunar walk around the grounds. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our program. If you like our content, we ask that you give us a thumbs up, a like, share with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so you always know when our new content is published. And all of this costs nothing, but means a lot to us and keeps us growing. You may also leave us a tip if you choose. The address is provided here on your screen, and a link is provided in the description area below. So until next time, everyone, this one is history. Hey, and be sure to check out our eBay store under ID History and Relics. We're now featuring channel merchandise, starting with our new logo magnet. They're only $5.50, and net proceeds go towards supporting our channel.